Neighbourhood policing has come a long way since the days of Dixon of Dock Green.
Good evening, all.
From inner city estates to suburbia, this new generation of community police officers, they're on the front line. Their aim is to develop a stronger bond with the community.
Have you had any problems then over the last week?
Crack down on the crimes taking place on their doorstep.
How much have you been drinking tonight? No. Where's your speech lad then?
Formulate fast action plans to take down the criminals.
Not too careful.
Who do you think you are? Hey!
In this new series of Neighbourhood Blues, we go to the Humberside Police Region and get exclusive access to 24 teams of neighbourhood police officers.
You're under arrest, mate.
As they tackle the problems blighting local people.
You're now under arrest on suspicion of possession with intent to supply a controlled drug.
And rise to the challenge of making the streets a safer place. Coming up, the team go after a man suspected of dealing drugs from his living room.
Who do you think you are? Hey!
Could a local family be the unwitting owner of a death row
The
dog?
dog, either way, the dog is going to be coming with us today. Right? Yeah.
It's coming.
And the police take action against troublesome teams.
Calm down, calm down.
Neighbourhood policing has fast become a feature of police forces across the country. It's supposed to see police taking on people's concerns about crime and throwing the book at the criminals. But as crime rates are always threatening to rise, the challenges just keep getting greater. For decades, the Humberside police area had one of the highest crime rates in the UK. But in recent years, things have improved dramatically, in no small part due to one of the biggest community policing initiatives to be found in the country.
You're under arrest for a shop theft.
But the fight against crime is an ongoing battle, and one which requires the constant support of the public. This means the police need to be seen and heard.
Because we work on our little patches, we become familiar with the area and the people who live in it, and they knew who their local officer is as well.
Another way that teams are doing this is by holding regular beat meetings where residents can meet their local police officer face to face.
I think Neighbourhood Watch is a very positive thing that people can do to help themselves and with the help of their local council. I think, and the local police. I think if more people got involved, then the crime rate would be brought down.
For the period of the 1st of January to the 27th.
Tonight, PC Dave Bullock is hosting a neighbourhood meeting for the locals living on his patch.
19 offences.
It's a full house,
to
people have plenty
27.
to say.
Is it part of the flat or is it part of the road outside?
I've had quite a lot of reports from our residents about constant drug dealing in the alleyway between the street and the co-op. Which
At
is
the
obviously
end of the
put
meeting,
quite a lot
one
of
woman comes forward to voice a worry.
There's a load of new faces that I've seen going in and out there.
Well, why do you think that is? Is that
What do you mean? I've seen them going in there.
Yeah.
Do you think it's dealing at the address or just these people using?
I think they're dealing there.
Neighbourhood teams in Hull get up to a dozen calls a week from similarly concerned residents, and it's a concern that rings true across the country.
Yeah, if I was to know that someone was growing drugs next door to me, certainly wouldn't be too happy. I'm not sure whether I would grass them up to the police, but I'd be quite happy for the police to investigate and put a stop to it, definitely. Just not something I want to live next door to.
The back clear for an overview.
Over in Grimsby, several calls from residents on the same street have sent the team into action.
Carrying knives before, we've had dealings with him, so that information is accurate. So there is the potential for some violence. So we will put a PSU.
More worrying for the team is the news that there are also children living at the property.
So for yourselves,
the combination of this information means that Martin Coffey is leaving nothing to chance and wants a fast entry and lockdown of the location and the children protected as a priority.
As part of this job has got to be about safeguarding the children if there's drugs dealing going on in the property and children of that age. So let's bear that in mind when we're in there.
The team suits up in their stab-proof body armour and are also prepared to pack another piece of kit, a taser, just in case the suspect turns violent.
It's just a precaution, really. There is some intelligence regarding certain individuals that frequent that address who we've had previous dealings with, and to be fair, have been violent in the past, so obviously it's just a precaution. And if we don't have them, we'll leave them, yeah.
All kitted up, Sergeant Coffey musters his men. And the unit head to the suspected dealing den. The van parks up just outside the house. On arriving at the location, carrying all the tools needed to force entry, the team hot-footed to the property. The deadlocking door isn't going to give way easily, so the unit unleash their full force against it to gain entry. As the door gives, the team rush in, sweeping the house to isolate the suspect and remove any children to safety. A woman is quickly located upstairs, looking after the children.
If you just said it was you, I would have let you in, man.
The male suspect is apprehended in the front room. He's more concerned about his door being smashed down than the heavy police presence.
I watched telly enough times, man. You don't just beat the door down. You shout. I don't want to sit down.
You knew the police were here.
I'm not doing nothing.
No, you're walking about. I just want to keep
I just want to sit. I'll stand right in the middle of the room.
No, you
The officers try to calm the man down, but his agitated state means they are left with no option but to arrest him and take him into custody for questioning.
Man, it's got an agreement to say that you shouldn't even be here.
I love you. I love you, yeah.
As the man is led out of the house, another man is also arrested in the garden. But the main suspect continues to behave aggressively, refusing to be led away quietly, to the point where officers have to physically restrain him.
Hey, don't start. Who do you think you are? Hey! Don't stop. Keep yourself calm, and we understood. Look, calm it. Just because we're outside in front of your neighbours, don't start acting the big man. Because right now you're not...
Calm down.
Look, just calm down. You can come to this van now and walk with us, otherwise we'll have to carry you.
The other man arrested in the garden also begins to put up a fight, meaning he too has to be restrained by force. As the main suspect continues to protest and level accusations at the police, an on-the-spot search reveals he is carrying close to £1,000 in cash, stuffed into his socks and pants.
Okay, there you go. He's lying to put drugs in the house when they're not there.
Where's this money from?
Last time I got raided, my money!
Reinforcing suspicions that he may be dealing drugs.
You're working then in a minute.
I don't need to work, mate.
Right, more money.
My own money, my own ways, all right.
After an initial struggle, the suspect and the other man are finally restrained and locked in the van. They will be taken to the local custody suite in order for a full strip search to be carried out, after which they will be formally questioned.
Just wait here a minute, mate.
Find out later if Buster, the force's champion sniffer dog, can use his nose to track down the suspected dealer's illegal stash. There are over 8 million dogs in the UK. Whilst most are much-loved family pets, a select few are a danger to the public. Last year, there were over 5,000 attacks by such dogs that saw the victims sent to hospital.
Sometimes I do see a lot of people individually or in groups carrying dogs because they think, you know, a lot of people are scared of dogs.
They seem to be used as sort of vanity pets to sort of for the purposes of getting angry and intimidating other people.
But they definitely do use dogs these days as a weapon, definitely.
Many of these attacks were by so-called dangerous dogs, classified under Schedule 1 of the Dangerous Dogs Act. These animals include pit bulls. Ownership of such a breed can lead to a prosecution of the owners and the destruction of the dog. Today, over at Pearson Park Police Station, neighbourhood police officer Gareth Walker is responding to a call from a member of the public who has been bitten by an animal she thinks may be a dangerous dog.
Do we know where the dog's kept within the house?
Just at the back, it said in a rear compound, but...
The Hull City Centre neighbourhood team dealt with over 60 dangerous dog cases last year. And Gareth knows that dealing with these animals comes with its own unique set of challenges.
I've arranged with the designated kennels.
Right. Okay.
They will attend and pick it up in an unmarked vehicle.
Right, okay.
Because the animal is feared to be a Schedule 1 dangerous dog, the police have no choice but to go to the address and remove it. It will be examined at the local pound by an expert. If the dog is found to be a banned breed, two options exist for the owner: to agree to its immediate humane destruction or to plea the animal's case in court.
Hiya. Hello there. I need to speak to you in relation to something about your dog that's barking away in the background. Am I alright to come in?
Yeah, but what about the dog? You'll be going mad that you're all coming in.
Is the dog in a compound in the back? Is it secure in the back?
No, I'll get my partner to go in the back with them.
Right, okay.
Gareth and the team wait patiently whilst the dog is locked in the garden. Once inside, the officers explain the reason for their visit.
Yeah. The issue we've got here is the breed of the dog. Right. Because we suspect, looking at it, there's some pit bull in there. Right. Yeah. Which is an illegal dog. It's banned. Right.
Gareth goes on to break the news that Bailey must now be taken to the pound so he can be examined to determine if he's a banned breed.
The dog, either way, the dog is going to be coming with us today. Right. Yeah.
Dealing with dangerous dogs comes with a high risk of attack, and the neighbourhood team take no chances.
This is what we call the dog shield, which at the front of it has some equipment which delivers a shock to the dog. The dog comes towards the officer, presents the shield. The dog generally, its nose touches the shield, give it a quick vest, and the dog generally doesn't want to play anymore.
The capture shield works by creating a barrier between the police officer and the animal. If, whilst attempting to put a leash around the dog, the animal attacks, a small electric shock emitted by the shield will temporarily stun the dog and enable the police officer to securely leash him. In Bailey's case, the officers hope the shield won't be required.
What we need to do is for you to get the dog into the van, right? Cause the animal as less stress as possible.
As preparations are made to remove him, Bailey's owner makes a final desperate attempt to keep him at home.
I've seen loads of them
about. Yeah, there are lots. I'll grant you that. And I know you're upset because he's a family pet.
I love him so much. Please, he's everything to me. Please.
With the situation explained once more, his owner eventually relents, allowing her partner to lead Bailey to the dog pound van. With all the attention focused on him, Bailey is clearly distressed, and great care is taken to ensure he is put into the van without any harm coming to him or anyone else. If Bailey is a dangerous dog, his outlook is bleak. He will either need to be put to sleep, or his owners will have to ask a judge to spare his life. The dog handler now takes Bailey to the kennels, where we will find out later if an expert thinks he is a dangerous dog.
I'll ring you tomorrow, and then any time after that you can ring me and I'll discuss what's going on.
All right.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Fine.
All right.
All this
Thanks,
now
Neil.
means an anxious wait for his owners. Bad behaviour caused by kids on street corners is an age-old problem for the police. But in recent years, a new menace has surfaced. Last year, the police received over 1,000 complaints about bullying and harassment on social networking sites.
You see a lot of things on Facebook. You see things like people commenting on photos or just saying slightly nasty things that are a little untoward, or creating an argument that you wouldn't normally have if it wasn't on the internet.
I think people have to be careful what they put online, because public forum and people have easy access to that information. People think that they can just hide behind a screen or a keyboard, but now it's becoming more serious, especially with things like Twitter. When it was first introduced, people thought they could say what they want to say, but now people are going to prison for that, and people are being made more aware that whatever they say on those public forums is legally permissible in court. So it's it's a very real threat out there.
This type of cybercrime is on the rise, and the neighbourhood team have been quick to pick up on it.
We're going to go and pop and see a gentleman who's reported problems on Facebook.
Neighbourhood officer Matt Lingwick has just received a call from the father of a teenage girl.
Hi, doing all right? It's coming.
A fake social networking account has been set up in her name using her pictures.
He'd logged on as there, here,
right,
and that's what he'd put.
And then started arguing,
and then the friends was obviously sticking up for.
So technically, this is still your profile, isn't it?
Yeah, but I've got a new one.
The family think that the culprit may be the girl's ex-boyfriend,
I know you've got
who has
your
been
new
using
one,
the
yeah,
account
so
to post abusive messages to friends and family.
That's probably the most damning bit that we've got.
Yeah.
That's him on his Facebook with his name on, and that's his status: hacking your ex and changing her Facebook name to "I touch real lots of kids."
The neighbourhood teams have seen a tenfold increase in the past 2 years in this type of complaint.
On your computer.
The internet is a difficult sphere to police, but fast action against the perpetrators can often stop a problem spinning out of control.
Because where does it stop when you're dealing with somebody with this mentality? They haven't got the intelligence sometimes to be able to knock it off when they know they should. So
Matt has dealt with similar cases before,
but
knows that feuds with teenagers usually take a different shape to those with criminals.
But I'll do the usual. I'll do the checks and everything else, and then I'll keep you fully updated. If that's all right, I'll contact you on your mobile if that's okay, and we'll go from there. Right, I'll keep you posted. Then.
All right, cheers.
Cheers for now. See you later.
Bye.
Having spoken with the victim, the team head over to the ex-boyfriend's house.
Come in. Thank you. Is he in?
Cyber stalking and harassment is a growing crime, and one the neighbourhood team take very seriously.
I'm not going to mince my words at the end of the day, because it's quite serious, and at the end of the day, this is causing a lot of distress to people.
Yeah.
Right? What do you know about why is that on there?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, admittedly I did it.
You did that?
Yeah. Just being honest.
Well, I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
In the face of overwhelming evidence against him, the boy confesses to committing the offence straight away. After a further talking to from Matt, the boy deactivates the fake social networking page.
What I want you to do, if you sign there next to that star.
In a bid to draw a line under the matter, the boy signs a statement promising not to behave in such a way again and to leave his ex-girlfriend alone. He is also left with a warning from Matt ringing in his ears.
Please take my words of advice on board, because it's caused a lot of problems that you may not be aware of.
It's been another good result for the neighbourhood team.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
In their bid to curb troublesome teens. The social networking faker has been paid a follow-up visit by the team and has continued to refrain from posting offensive material on social networking sites. Dangerous dog attacks are on the rise, with somebody killed every year by a banned animal. Often these dogs are trained to attack other animals and people, with ferocious and deadly force. The police have received a report from a member of the public who believes they were bitten by a banned breed. PC Gareth Walker is investigating the serious complaint. On visiting the house, the dog Bailey was removed to a local kennels, where he now awaits examination by a police officer with experience of classifying dangerous dogs. Gareth is now on his way to the pound to find out what the future holds for Bailey and his owners.
We're going up to the police kennels in relation to the dog that we seized yesterday as a possible Schedule 1 dog. We're going to be meeting an officer there from North Yorkshire Police, who's a dog legislation officer for their force, who's going to identify the dog, hopefully one way or the other.
On arriving at the kennels, Gareth is greeted by PC Nick Atkinson, an expert in dangerous dogs. In order to inspect Bailey, Nick gets out a long leash, but immediately the dog goes on the attack. It's going to take all of Nick's 15 years of experience dealing with dangerous dogs to try and calm him down.
Sausage off him. Sausage off him. Wow.
But despite Nick's best efforts, Bailey remains hostile to any kind of approach. Whilst a visual identification of a dangerous dog is sufficient, Nick would like to measure Bailey and examine more closely some of his characteristics.
We need to be able to get hold of him and actually put a tape measure onto him and measure him up, because that's what we've got to do to identify him, you see. However, there's no point in putting him under undue stress to get him out when somebody's only going to get hurt from him. You can see from him he's a pit bull type. What I'm not prepared to do is put him under any more stress than he is already. He's frightened, his tail's under his legs. You go near him, he's snarling. If you go into him, someone's going to get hurt for it, and it's just not worth it.
You're quite happy to say he's...
It is, yeah, pit bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, pit bull type.
Pit bull type, yeah.
Being branded a dangerous dog is not good news for Bailey or his owners. Only two options exist now: that his owners agree that he be put to sleep, or they take the case to court for a judge to determine the outcome.
Come on then. Come on.
Still to come. Could it be that Bailey's dog days are done?
I want that bag.
And the search of the suspected drug dealer's house sees the neighbourhood team find the hard stuff.
I would suggest it's probably crack cocaine.
Nobody wants a drug dealer living on their street, but an even bigger concern for most people relates to troublesome teenagers creating a menace. The neighbourhood teams are not afraid to get tough against antisocial youth, because it's a problem that upsets people everywhere.
The crime in my particular area is definitely young people, yes.
From my personal experience, it's gangs of sort of feral children roaming the streets and getting up to no good, throwing stones at windows and that sort of thing. And I've seen children with bottles of vodka on the street in daytime, just after school time as well. So quite worrying, really.
There are actually groups of youths on the streets, like ranging from can be 10, 15. There has been house attacks on my estate, yeah, like bricks thrown through windows, stuff like that, bottles, front doors kicked in.
ASBOs are still used when a youngster repeatedly creates a menace in a public place. If an ASBO is breached, it can lead to arrest and a criminal record. Today, PC Rich Watson and Sergeant Mark Peasgood are on their way to the home of a 15-year-old boy. He has an ASBO for continued troublemaking at a local library, and he's breached it, so they are off to arrest him.
He's going to a library and he's basically been abusive to members of staff there. They provide us with a statement to that effect as evidence, so we're going to go and arrest him now, and we'll have an interview this afternoon. Now then, mate, you're all right?
The police officers enter the boy's house, and the full seriousness of how much trouble he is in hits home.
Right, you've breached your ASBO.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. You listen to this. You listen to this.
This is what I'm going to say to you.
Despite the boy
17th of
and his
January,
mum being in
you breached
denial,
your
the
house,
police are
at
not
the
softening
local
their
library.
stance.
No, yes,
Yeah.
They have ample evidence to prove he has breached the ASBO, and he now has to be arrested and taken into custody for continuing to offend.
Calm down.
Calm down.
No, because he hasn't breached his husband. Where's he breached it?
Breached it at the library on the 17th of January.
Sit in the middle.
The teenage boy is now under arrest and is taken to the station.
Shoes off, please. Bear with me. There's no log out there at all.
There he is fingerprinted before being bailed whilst he awaits a court date. It's a disappointing day for all concerned, as the boy can now be looking at a criminal record, and the extensive efforts of the neighbourhood team were not enough to curb his bad behaviour. Following his court hearing, the young lad was found guilty of breaching his ASBO. Tearaway teens are something most families have to deal with at some time or another. But sometimes the problems can be too great for parents to control on their own at home, as their children's aggressive and antisocial behaviour escalates, causing a problem that a mere telling off or curfew won't solve. Over in Cleethorpes, the team have been working closely with a number of families who have teenagers with anger management issues. PCSO Richard Moore is about to pay a follow-up visit to a family who have been having ongoing problems with a teenage son, who has been violent and abusive to his parents. The boy's bad behaviour has created tensions at home.
And you can work out the ones that you want to do in the short-term basis.
Well, it all started about a year ago. I just saw red, and then every time mum and dad said no, I saw red in my eyes, so I was going to go for the target. I used to bang him on the walls and hit him in the face.
Friends being around, causing a split in the family and pushing mum to breaking point.
In the end, I rang social services and just said, look, I need help. Social services came around and says, every time he attacks you, you need to ring the police. Because obviously she'd seen all my bruises and stuff, what Jack had done. And that's how Richard got involved with us.
Richard's role on behalf of the neighbourhood team is to try and mediate between the boy and his parents, showing him that his actions are bordering on being criminal, but that there is help and support there to put him back on the right track.
Have you had any problems then over the last week? What's your behaviour and your aggression being like?
I think we've had 2 arguments, but not physical or...
Okay, what were the arguments about?
One of them was tonight because I was going to go down to Kent Street to play football, but then I was then mum and dad said no, so I said all right then and went back out.
So no, you didn't say all right then. He turned around and said, I want to go to Kent Street and stuff, and we said no, you're not going, obviously because of the weather. You know, go upstairs, play on your PlayStations, on your laptops, whatever. And he turned around and went, why don't you just clear off and go back to Albert Place, to Paul?
Well, firstly, well done for not throwing any punches, but at the end of the day, Jack, what mum and dad says is what goes. You've got to understand that, and what they're telling you to do, you've got to do it.
Yeah.
What I've got some charts. What I want you to do is write the date down.
Yeah.
I put mum and dad issues. If you've got an issue with the way you feel mum and dad's treat you, write it down and write what the incident was. If that's yours.
Thank you.
Mum and Dad get their own forms to fill in too, a bit like a diary of how things are going at home.
What the reasons
Mum
are
has
for the
already
alteration
told
of
Ricky
money
that her son's
and what he's
behaviour
done.
has
I know
been
you
greatly
mentioned before
improved
to me
since the
that
weekly
George's
neighbourhood visit
behaviour
began.
sometimes slipping.
Because of this, Ricky has brought with him a certificate that congratulates the teenager on the steps forward he's made.
4th of February.
But Mum and Dad get the final say on whether or not he gets it awarded.
The question I'll ask Mum and Dad, since my last visit, do you think Jack's behaviour's improved enough to merit him to receive this certificate?
All in all, it's not as bad as what he usually is.
The physical abuse has stopped, Rick.
Yeah.
Yes, and also the banging and the smashing of doors and what have you have also stopped. So we are on the right track.
Lovely.
Yes.
It's a good feeling all round for the family when the boy gets the certificate.
Right, there you go, Jack.
Thank you.
There's your certificate.
Dad can see
Well done.
firsthand the benefits
Good
of
behaviour,
families
all right. Have you
developing
had
a
any
close
joy with those
bond
forms
with
that I
their
give
local
you?
neighbourhood bobby.
There's just been a relationship built up between them.
Right, I'll see you later, Jack, all right?
And I think the relationship is helping because it had just got out of hand to where at some stage it had probably come to physical violence towards Jack from myself. Yes, because of the abuse that he was giving to the wife and to me as well.
Bye. All right, good night, bye-bye.
Since the regular support visits, the boy has stayed on the straight and narrow, and the family are much happier for it. Back over in Hull city centre, neighbourhood officer Gareth Walker seized a dog the police feared may be banned and a danger to the public. After being examined at the local pound, the outlook is very bleak for Bailey. His owners now face the possibility of being prosecuted for owning a pit bull, as well as facing up to the dilemma of whether they will let Bailey be humanely put to sleep or take the case to court.
We're giving the owner a couple of days to sort of get our head together. Just come back into the police station now, and the owners have turned up to see me at the front, so hopefully we will get an answer one way or the other what's going to happen. Just grab a seat. It's not ideal, but go in there for me. My recommendation would be that there will be no prosecution, because it's not in the public interest to prosecute you and go through all the costs, court appearances and things like that when Bailey's being put to sleep. There's no chance of him breeding, escaping, so there would be no point to carry on prosecuting you for that offence.
If we agree to this, agree to it being put down now,
Yes.
what have you,
Yeah.
is it possible, but just to be there when this happens?
I'll have to ask permission of the vets,
Right, okay.
because they're the people that are officially doing it. If you can go and do it,
Yeah.
are you looking at going down the route of signing him over?
Yeah, I would do in those
Yeah.
circumstances, yeah.
But if you're not allowed to go,
No.
then you will go for the prosecution
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
But let me go see if I can get the answer for you as quickly as I can.
Yeah.
You take a seat,
Right, okay.
and I'll come back.
Right, thank you. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Taking the owner's concerns on board, Gareth contacts the local vet to ask if their request to accompany Bailey can be carried out.
Hello there, it's Gareth Walker from Queen's Gardens. Hello there. We've got a dog that we've seized off somebody that's possibly going to get signed over to us for euthanasia. The problem is, the couple have come in and said that they're willing to sign it over for destruction. It's in our kennels at the moment, but one of them wants to be there to witness it, to sort of go through the grieving process. Would you have a problem with that? Okay, do you want to come through?
The owner's anxious wait is over as Gareth returns with news.
Right, I've spoken to the vets, okay. The vets agreed that, yeah, one of you can be in the room. He doesn't have a problem with that.
Last thing I'd want is to be free.
The owners are told that they can be with Bailey at the vet's surgery.
Yeah.
But the reality
Right,
of the
so-
situation now begins to hit home.
4 o'clock.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, tonight?
Mhm.
Already? Well, it has to be, Sarah. It has to get done, doesn't it? Yeah, but it has to be done. And it'll only be other nights.
Despite emotions running high, Gareth still has the difficult task of getting the order signed that will allow the vet to put Bailey to sleep.
Okay. Just a signature off you at the end, so I can't add anything else on, so you don't think there's anything untoward. Okay.
With one of Bailey's owners remaining at home, too distraught at the thought of losing her pet. The other makes his way to the vets to meet his dog one last time.
You all right?
You just hold him on the leg, and I'll put the ball on.
Right, okay, all right. Oh, come on,
The police agreed to let Bailey be taken for one last walk to calm him down. Gareth stands by, looking to ensure the whole difficult situation is resolved as quietly as possible.
He's got the dog out of the kennels van that's turned up. He's going to try and oblige as much as he can by putting a muzzle on the dog for our safety and the vet's safety. As soon as he's done that, if he is able to do that, we'll take the dog through to the vets and they will carry out the procedure that they need to do. Okay?
With Bailey successfully muzzled, he is led inside the vet's surgery. With his dog now put to sleep, emotions are too much for his owner to bear. The affection that people hold for their pets has made this a particularly tough case for the neighbourhood team.
It actually comes down to it.
Yeah, always. Neil, thank you very much
for
your help.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right, thank you. Take care.
But with dangerous dog attacks on the rise, this sad outcome was nonetheless necessary to protect the public from any further risk of attack. Despite owning a dangerous dog, the police took the couple's willingness to cooperate into consideration and no charges were pressed. Dangerous dogs are not something the neighbourhood teams deal with every day, but drug dealers are. In Humberside, the police are working hard to put the dealers, working from home, in jail. Back over in Grimsby, following complaints from local residents, the neighbourhood team have launched a raid on the house of a suspected drug dealer. 2 men have been taken into custody.
Who do you think you are? Boss, hey!
Police are now commencing a systematic search of the property to see if their suspicions about it being a dealing den are true. But the team must first contend with the woman.
Why don't you stop raiding people's houses and clean your phone? Instead of upsetting. Did you see how you just...
The untidy state of the house means Martin wants his officers to take extra care when searching. PCSO Lisa Howie is updated about his concerns as the search for illegal drugs continues.
There's just risks normally through this house. Obviously, there's all on the floor there. There's a petrol motorbike and basically all.
I want a bag. Hey, what I want.
The woman by now is becoming increasingly agitated. The combined effect of a police presence and her partner being in for questioning is making the situation increasingly fraught. All attempts to calm her down fail, and ultimately, she too has to be taken into custody. Struggling against the police every step of the way.
We've done some further checks and we've found that the male party shouldn't be at this house. The lady signed some kind of agreement that she wouldn't have him here at the house, and obviously he's been found here residing overnight. He's been found with quite a large sum of money in his pocket. He's got no means of legitimate income as far as we know. And once we get the staff back, we should be able to get on and hopefully find some further evidence.
With the occupants all back at the police station being questioned, it's time to send in Buster, the force's sniffer dog, to hunt out any drugs that may be stashed in the house. His powerful nose sweeps through every room, and it's not long before he makes his first find, what looks like a large wrap of cannabis, alarmingly, in a toy box in the children's bedroom. Experience tells Martin that dealers can be very cunning when it comes to hiding their stash.
We've had everything from hiding it in a tennis ball, to hiding it in children's toys, to dolls and ornaments on the wall. We have to explore everywhere because every time we find something, they tend to try and use something different, so we have to look at different places all the time.
As the search of the house continues, thousands of pounds in cash is found and bagged as evidence.
He'll have some explaining to do as to why he's got that amount on him. And if it's through his criminal activities or any criminal activities, then the cash is seized and he doesn't get it back.
Something else that catches the neighbourhood team's eye is a mobile phone, which dozens of different people are ringing constantly.
There's about 22 missed calls on this phone. If I was to hazard a guess, I would say that was a dealer's phone, yeah. That's the same person. But
if we keep rejecting it, you'll see how persistent sometimes these people can be.
Down in the kitchen, Buster's nose comes up trumps again, sniffing out another cache of hidden drugs.
I would suggest it's probably crack cocaine.
Once again, drugs have been worryingly concealed inside a child's toy.
And we're looking at these trains, and the whole drawer, everything you feel feels as if it's contaminated with, you know, a fine white powder.
And the drawer is crammed with more tools of the drug dealer's trade.
We've got bits of broken phone and mobile, a set of digital scales, the real sharp Stanley knife blade there, and again this is all contaminated with white powder. I would hope at the end of the day that we're going to prove some drugs supplying offences and somebody's going to receive a custodial sentence, and that might go some way to improving the situation for some of the more innocent occupiers in the address.
Despite the considerable amount of incriminating evidence uncovered already, the search of the house continues. Out in the back garden, Lisa makes her own surprising discovery.
Obviously malnourished. He seems to be difficulty walking on his back legs. I don't know whether it's a disability or due to the condition of the dog.
Concerned about his poor condition, Lisa calls in the RSPCA to take care of the dog. Back inside the house, Martin makes a deadly discovery in the kitchen.
I don't think there's any need for a knife like that in Scunthorpe. It really is part of the culture of these people who are involved in drug dealing, rather to protect themselves or to intimidate others. So we find those kind of things all the time in these kind of properties. Not the kind of things you find in the average family home, that's for sure.
The man was not charged for possession of a dangerous weapon. Outside, the RSPCA has arrived to collect the dog, which on closer inspection is found to be in extremely poor condition.
The neighbours said to us when we came, "You're not going to leave that dog here, are you?"
Everybody said that.
Unable to walk, the dog is carried away into the waiting van to be taken to the vet for a full examination. With all of the evidence bagged, the house is secured. It's another positive result for the team, acting on complaints from residents and making the community a safer place. The suspected dealer was found guilty of possession with intent to supply Class A drugs and given 28 months inside, plus an extra month for possession of a Class B drug. His friend was convicted of obstructing a police officer during his duties, given a 12-month conditional discharge. The woman was not charged with any drug offences and was released unconditionally from police bail. Neighbourhood policing offers up some of the greatest variety of work any police officer can expect to encounter. Experiencing so many different problems means the teams have to be prepared for anything that may come their way. And as you'll find out next time, trouble is always just around the corner. Coming up next time, an aggrieved shop owner bangs up a couple of burly bailiffs.
It's all about deprivation, demoralisation and dehumanisation, isn't it?
Well, it might well be, but unfortunately they're there illegally, mate.
Well, no, I asked them to leave. What can I do?
They've got a warrant.
Well, if they've got a warrant, they don't have to go, yeah.
The team investigate a man suspected of cultivating cannabis at home.
Hello?
Nolan, you alright? Is there anything that shouldn't be?
Not as far as I know, I ain't got a clue. Do you know?
Right, so there is a little bit of smell of cannabis, alright.
And it's time to crack down on drug taking in pubs.
That's the white packet was there. It looked like it had been placed by the guy.